Hello, my name is Jeff Tishko with Colker Janitorial Supply. Today I'm here with a special guest, Steve Blumberg from Spartan Chemical. What I want to do is ask Steve, I'm always getting a question about floor finish. Steve, the question that people are asking me all the time is what floor finish should I use? I know there's 17%, there's 18%, there's 20%, 22%, 25%. Everyone comes into my store and doesn't know what floor finish they should buy. Could you give me a breakdown on floor finish and polymers?
Sure, we absolutely can, Jeff. Thank you. Thanks for having me today as well. So Jeff, to answer your question, it's a very complex thing, right? And we'll try to simplify it as much as we can. So the first thing that we want to do is figure out what type of floor do we have. Do we have a VCT floor? Do we have a terrazzo floor? What type of flooring are we putting this on? And then the other thing we want to think about is what's the age of that floor? If we have an older floor, maybe we have some blemishes that we want to cover. If we have a new floor, we want that nice clear shine and we want that floor to pop. So we want to think about that when we're choosing a finish, whether we want a newer technology or an older technology, and that'll determine the polymer sizes that we talked about. So when you think about floor finish, some of the older technologies, they have larger polymers. So what we like to do is we like to put a sealer on for that. So with the polymer, you can picture them like molecules, right? So if we have these molecules that are about this size right here, this could be, let's say, an older style finish. Well, what we may need to do is we may need to put down something with the smaller molecules, which is a sealer, and those molecules are going to be closer together, or the polymers are going to be closer together, right? So we would put that sealer down, and then we could build that finish up on top of that. Now, with this, a lot of times, again, this is an older technology. So what we have is we have newer technology products that have something that's in between, okay? That's just slightly larger than this and smaller than this. And what that allows us to do is skip the step of the sealer. Okay, so in that case, what we're able to do is we're able to just put down a finish and put multiple coats down. So you can kind of skip a step there. So again, we want to think about what floor do we have? Is it a newer floor, an older floor? What are our goals? Do we want to hide some blemishes, or do we have a clear, newer floor? And then the other thing we want to think about is the traffic that we have. Do we have a high traffic area? Do we have an area like a classroom where we have some chairs and things like that? Or do we have a hallway that we can afford to do some more maintenance on, and it's more of a clear, open area that we don't have any kind of interruptions in? So all of those things are going to go into choosing what finish that we want. And again, we have the newer technologies, the older technologies. We have some that require a sealer and some that don't. So we want to get with somebody like yourself to make those decisions.
Steve, on your floor finish that you have at Spartan Chemical,
Yeah.
What polymer level, what sizes do you have and offer to people in the field?
So again, depending on what we're trying to accomplish, we have any finish that's going to accomplish that. So if we have a terrazzo floor, we've got the appropriate finish for that. If we've got those newer floors, the older floors, we've got the finishes that have the polymer levels that we're looking for.
The other question I get on floor finish is the humidity.
Yeah.
In these schools and these buildings, and they have no air conditioning, and it's hot outside.
Yep.
What recommendations do you have for them to apply floor finish to their floors?
It's really tough because the time of year that most schools especially are doing their floor finish is in the summer when it's hot and when you have a lot of humidity. And the biggest thing is trying to pick the drier days, right? That's going to make a big difference. Trying to get air movement, so having fans and things like that can certainly help your situation. Obviously, you need to make sure it's a clean environment so we're not blowing things into it. The other side of it is time, right? It's really important to give enough time for that floor to dry. If we put a floor finish down on a real humid day, what will end up happening is it'll take a lot longer to dry. And if we don't give it that appropriate time and we put the next layer on, we're going to open up a can of worms, and it's really good. You're going to get a fog in that floor.
Wow, thanks, Steve. Hey, I hope you learned something about Spartan floor finish today. And remember, Colker Janitorial Supply is here for all your building maintenance needs.